Peter walked with the Lord, talked with the Lord, carried himself with God, and he had his temper. And we said, well, Peter just had a bad temper. No, Peter said, I'll die for you, Lord. He wasn't scared. You can't convince me that somebody with one sword and an army band of 100 people can come up, and he take that sword and try to cut one of them head off named Malchus and hit his ear. He is not scared of death. He's not scared of death. You can't convince me he's scared of death. You're not going to run up to 100 people with a sword if you didn't know you was going to die. That's reality. He wasn't scared. He said, Lord, I'll die with you right now. I'll die with you. But one thing he was not willing to do for the Lord, and he realized that when he had to go into the gate, Peter was in the gate mad. He was cussing him out in the gate. He was ready to start something right then. Who you think you're talking to? Didn't I tell you what? He's flipping out right there. He looked up and saw Jesus and realized he was not willing to suffer with him. I die for you, but I won't suffer for you. Some of us will go to our graves with our thoughts right now, but it won't change our life at all when it comes to suffering. He couldn't understand how, Lord. How can you let them do this to you? Let them beat you? Let them talk about you like this? No, let's go out fighting and dying. He didn't know how to suffer with the Lord. That means to be godly through your situation no matter what it is. That's what that means. Suffering's going to come, but stay how you are through the situation. Remain a child of God. Right situation come up, people turn into the devil immediately. When I first got married, I learned a lot my first year of marriage. When I first got married, it was a big deal. My brother and I, we was told we never get married. Don't ever get married. Don't ever trust it. Whatever. It's the best thing ever happened to me. When I first got married, I tell my wife all the time, baby, you know I die for you. Something happened, I got you. I brought the street into the marriage. I used to be in the street and fighting. And I had my people beside me, we going for broke. I'm used to all the stuff and the way I live. So I got married and thought, I need that. I said, I need to have that. She need to understand I got her back. So we'd go somewhere and something would happen. And I jump in front of her. Somebody was trying to steal something out of Hardee's one time. They were on drugs. And I done pushed her out the way before she knew what happened. And I'm up in their face as if they trying to harass her. They were just snatching something from the back. He even looked at me like, bro, I ain't trying to. And left. I didn't know. I was ready. I said, baby, I'll die for you. I'll give her a speech. Somebody going to do something. I'll die for you. I got you. Don't worry about this. Something happened. I'm going to be the first one right there. We were somewhere and a gun went off. Pow, I'm covering her up like a blanket. Like you think the president was out there. I was all over my wife. Got my family. I got you, girl. I'll die for you. She heard that the whole first marriage. And God can take that thought out your mind like this. He can take everything you've been taught. God can remove in seconds if you let him. I didn't know. My wife and I was going to sleep, and I heard somebody coming in my window. And in this day and time, you can't take that lightly. I heard somebody coming in my window. I said, oh, it's on. I said, it's on. I jumped up. I've given her this speech. I said, baby, this is it. It's time. I got to go down here and do this. I got to put my money where my mouth is. I gave her a kiss. I love you. Get my little girl. Get out the window. I'm going to do this. And she was like lost. Like, okay. And she just jumped up and she started running. And I ran downstairs fast. You thought Wolverine went down there. I was fast. I ran downstairs and to the window and I started screaming. And threw my hands out like, let's do it. And I ran to the window. I don't know if God had the same humor I have, but he's definitely got a sense of humor. I just don't know what it is. Because it was a tree branch had broken. And it was rubbing the window hard. Almost impossible. Almost like somebody just say, look, let me teach you something. Put it there like that. And I opened that window up wide open, and that's all it was. And I went back upstairs, and I began to win right then on that spot. I wondered, why did I just leave with her? Why did I just get out too? She in safety. Why would I stay here? I felt like the dumbest individual in the world. Thank you for that. He said, and I was. I was, man. I didn't know. So the next day, I was calmed down. I stayed up about the next 2 hours pacing the floor. When God talked to you sometimes, it resonates, just right through your spirit. Like, man, I can't understand this. I didn't know what was happening. And my wife, And I got to talking the next day. And I said, baby, you know that whole situation, man. I'm going to cut that tree limb down. I'm mad at that tree. Somebody got to get it out of here. And I said, you know, because you know I'm going to die for you if it come down to it. And that's when she stopped me. She's been listening to this for a year. You guys are patient when you want to be. And she put her hand on me like I was 3 years old. That's how she talked to me sometimes. When she really want me to get something, she put her hand on me like this. She said, baby, listen to me, okay? I know you'll die for me. I know it. Said, I understand that. I get it. I'm thankful. I know you'll die for this family. Say, but that's not what I need. I'm thinking, what you need? I go anywhere. What you need? She said, I need you to live for me. That broke me down.